The night was dark and silent as Emma drove along the winding country road. She'd been visiting a friend in a small town, but as she headed home, her car started to sputter. Suddenly, the engine died, and she found herself stranded in the middle of nowhere. She glanced around, but there were only trees and shadows. She was alone. Emma decided to call for help, but when she checked her phone, there was no signal. Just my luck, she thought, taking a deep breath to calm her nerves. Then she noticed something strange. In the distance, on the side of the road, was an old house with a single light flickering in the window. She knew it was risky, but she had no other option. She stepped out of the car and walked toward the house. As Emma got closer, she could see that the house was worn down, with broken windows and ivy creeping up the walls. She hesitated, her stomach churning, but told herself, "Don't be silly." She knocked on the door, and to her surprise, it creaked open by itself. "Hello?" she called, her voice echoing in the empty house. No one answered. Inside, the air was thick and musty, filled with an eerie silence. Just as she was about to turn back, she heard footsteps from upstairs, slow, dragging footsteps. She froze, her heart racing, and took a step back. But then she heard a faint whisper, like someone calling her name. "Emma. Emma ... Cold shivers ran down her spine. How could anyone know my name? She thought, glancing toward the door. Just then, the light in the hallway went out, and she was left in pitch darkness. She could still hear the footsteps, getting louder and louder coming down the stairs. Panicked, she reached for the door handle, but it wouldn't budge. She yanked and pulled, her breathing growing faster. Suddenly, a cold hand touched her shoulder. She whipped around, but no one was there. "Emma, stay with me," a voice whispered in her ear, sending a chill down her back. She screamed, banging on the door, desperate to escape. Just as she felt the touch again, the door burst open, and she stumbled outside, gasping for air. She sprinted back to her car, and to her shock, the engine roared to life as soon as she turned the key. She didn't look back as she sped down the road. To this day, Emma never drives that road again at night. And if anyone asks about the old house, she simply says, "It's better to leave some places in the dark."